Hey guys, what's going on? It's Be Fresh, and it is officially springtime. I feel pretty good about myself right now. I've joined the gym. As you saw in my last video, I'll put a link down below. And I've also started cleaning up my apartment. But before we get into all that, make sure you go and subscribe to my channel. I will post a link right there. So click subscribe and join my channel and hit the notification bell, and you will not regret it. Oops, I almost lost you there. Now, if you can't tell, my face is looking a little bit skinnier. I have already hit a milestone this week, and that is I haven't had soda. I had one soda this week. That's it, just one soda. For the whole week, which is really good because I was drinking sodas like every single day, and I was drinking multiple sodas a day. So I can already see a little bit of a change in what not drinking soda has done to me. My stomach has gotten a little bit tighter, and my face has also gotten a little bit tighter because I'm not consuming as much sugar. Mentally, it's been a few days since I got back to the gym. It's just because my body is about 70% ready to go to the gym, not 100%. It was actually pretty rigorous last time I was there, but these are milestones. I did do, I think, 5 miles last week, which isn't a lot, but it's better than nothing. And, you know, we'll get to 25 in a week. We'll get to 30, 35 in a week. But right now, 5 miles is better than nothing. We're just going to ease ourselves into it, ease lightly back into more of a routine that, you know, or I don't want to rush my body either, because I can tell that we're not 100%, but we're going to get back there this upcoming week. So I'm excited. However, these physical changes are also leading to changes in my apartment. If you don't know, I have a 1-bedroom apartment that is just mine. It's all mine. I get it completely to myself. But I had this couch that was just an old couch. One buddy gave me 2 couches. When I first moved in here, I didn't have anything. I had no furniture at all. I was literally sleeping on blankets after the last place that I was at. And a buddy gave me 2 couches. And so I had, 2 big couches, 3-seaters, and I just sold one of them for like $5 because it was old. I got rid of that one. I'm going to end up getting rid of this one and getting newer couches, maybe a couple love seats or something and a chair. I don't know. Haven't figured that out yet, but I am going through some changes with this space as well. Here, I'll show you. I also got a rug. So here is the new rug I got. I got this rug, and then I got this couch over here that I'm going to be getting rid of. It's definitely been great for a free couch, but I want to get something a little bit newer. There's a carpet. This is newer. This TV stand is newer over the last year. And then right here is where I had another couch, but I just got rid of that. So that's just empty right now. And then also these blinds right here, I just replaced. Those are brand new zebra blinds. And because I did have blinds like that. So I don't know. Tell me what blinds you like better. I'm thinking the zebra blinds I like better. And then also I got a floor lamp in the corner. So this living room is starting to really come along. I did have a bar table that I wanted to put right there, but I don't think that's going to work. So I think I'm just going to put another couch. What do you think I should do with this living room space? Let me know in the comments below. So the process is not completely done towards redecorating my apartment. Maybe it's 50%. I don't know. I still want to get another couch. There's still some things I want to do, but I want to give you an update on it as far as where I'm at right now with it. And then, it'll be done soon. The challenge is just finding what I want to change the space with. I found this rug, great deal on the rug. Found the blinds, great deal on the blinds. Found a floor lamp, great deal on the floor lamp. So it's just a matter of finding this stuff and making sure that it's going to fit in with the vibe of this place. And so that's really been the challenge for redecoration. Now I'm looking for a couch. Now I'm maybe looking for another more zebra blinds. I don't know. So yeah, I'm excited though. I think this new space is going to better reflect me, as a person. It's weird that furniture does that, but I just want a space that, more or less looks how I want it to look. And, I mean, this stuff is serviceable, but if I have a choice, I'm going to switch it out for some other stuff. So I appreciate everything that I have, but I want to make it a little bit more unique to what I want. So as I said, when I moved in here, I had nothing. I literally moved in here with my Jeep, whatever could fit in my Jeep, and I had no furniture. I was sleeping on blankets on a wooden floor, and that was it. I moved in here, and for weeks I slept on a blanket on the floor like I was, homeless or something. And so all this, while it's just stupid furniture stuff, it really also is a representation of, being able to fight back and not stay in the same place. So I have been battling homelessness since I was, I want to say, 14 years old. 14 years old was the first time, I believe I was 14, was the first time that my mom kicked me out of the house for who knows what reason. She was always coming up with reasons. Kicked me out of the house. Okay, the first one that I remember, my mom was going on vacation. She said they were both going on vacation, and I had to find a friend's house to stay at. Okay, we're kind of going off on a tangent here, but I had to find a friend's house to stay at, so I stayed at my friend Noah's house, who was right down the road. Then we drove by my house while they were supposedly on vacation. Turns out my stepdad didn't go on any vacation at all. They just lied to me, and I guess my mom went on vacation. I don't know. I don't know much of the story. All I know is that I got lied to, and I wasn't allowed to stay at my place. I guess it was my parents' place, but I wasn't allowed to stay there. And that was a sign of things to come for me. But let's just forget about that for now. This one-bedroom apartment is really something that I've wanted since I was a teenager. I just wanted my own space to be able to go out and work and have my own, little space and not have people bugging me, and just having that. I don't know why it's taken all this time, over 20 years to get a one-bedroom apartment. It's completely ridiculous. This system is totally screwed. But, it is what it is. This is where we're at. So about 8 years ago, I was with Leanne. You may remember this. Me and Leanne were living together. I guess we were kind of together, but not really. Occasionally we would kind of sleep together, but not, but also she was, uh, we weren't, we weren't really sleeping together. I don't know. It was just weird. Very strange situation. It turns out that, she's maybe bipolar and has a lot of mental issues. So I, I make a lot of bad decisions when it comes to women, probably because of, my mom and how, like I said, like I just told you how, she lies and whatnot. Uh, you know, Leanne, I would say that was not a relationship that I should have went after. And I can tell you this now, 8 years later. 8 years ago, we were living together. And then you saw all the vlogs after that, or maybe you didn't, but so part of us moving out of that place is because she told me that the other roommate was asking her for money and was hitting on her, or something of that nature. And I just kind of took it at face value because I guess I just believed her for some reason. But I don't think any of that was true. He had said that she was crazy, and maybe they're both crazy, I don't know. But what she told me was part of the reason why we ended up moving out of that place. And I'm not sure that I believe it. I don't think I do. Now that after all these years, I don't think any of it was true. I think she wanted to move back with her ex-boyfriend. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, these two have a history and they have like a toxic thing going on. They have kids together, but the real thing that opened my eyes about it was the fact that they had a court date when we were living in the apartment. When me and Leanne were living together, they had a court date, and she comes back with her, it's over a restraining order or something like that. Like, she literally had a restraining order against this guy or something like that, something of that nature. And when the court date's done, she comes back to the apartment with the ex-boyfriend, and she's got a hickey on her neck. I'm like, yeah, that's a hickey on your neck. Oh, no, it's not. That's not a hickey. Yeah, no, I know what a hickey looks like. That is definitely a hickey. It wasn't super visible, but that was a hickey. He put a hickey on her, like, for sure. I'm not going to be gaslit on that. That for sure happened, 100%. And then a few months later, she's moving back. This is exactly what happened. So once you piece together the timeline, she 100% just flat out lied, moved back with her boyfriend. So I ended up getting a job and going out of state, and we actually end up reconnecting because she reached out and was like, oh, I want to see you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm out of state, I'm out of town, So what happens, I think, is that maybe she has a mental break and says, oh, well, I need to get out of here for a while. This mom thing is too much, and this boyfriend thing, too much. I need to, try some other guys or whatever. I don't know. So we meet up. I don't even know why I did at this point. If I had any sort of self-respect, I would have just hung up the phone and not met her or ever talked to her again. Apparently, I just have no self-respect for myself. I don't know. But I met up with her, and I even brought her down to where I was staying. At this time, I was staying in down south in LA. I was staying in LA. Now I remember. Okay, so I was in LA, and she called me up, and she goes, okay, well, next time you're up, come get me. I want to see you. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I actually do that. I pick her up, and we go down to Corona. where I was staying at, and get this, the house that I was staying at and was the dad of the roommate that we just had an argument with like 3 months earlier. Literally, out of all people in the world, we were staying at an Airbnb of the dad in down south in LA. LA's a big town, but no, we're staying at the Airbnb of the dad of the guy we just got in an argument with like 3-4 months ago and moved out, and that's why we were homeless for a little while. Like, of all the freaking people in the world in LA, we were staying there. I didn't even know who he was until I got there, and I'm like, wait, how do you know him? And he's like, oh, that's my son. I'm like, oh, great. Like, I thought it was going to be a bad experience after that. I probably should have left, but it was fine. It was fine. But me graduating college, not having a job afterwards, and then kind of just lambing it for a while until I got a job, and I was, I was going around out of area. And so that was a major life change, though, when I was living in LA for a little while, at least. But after LA, because that job was only temporary, I didn't know what I was gonna do. Honestly, I was gonna go to Texas, and one of my buddies was living in Austin at the time, and I was just gonna go out there. And so she wanted to come down and visit me, though. So I said, okay, I'll pick you up next time I'm in town. And I don't know, a week or two, I don't know how long it was, but I went up there and I picked her up and I brought her back down. And I brought her back down to the ex-roommate's dad's Airbnb that I was staying at. Wasn't awkward somehow, but okay. So at the same time, her first child's dad also lives in the area. And I picked her up. I guess she decided she wanted to go visit him while she was visiting me. Actually, I was at work because I was working at the time. And then the next night, I'm going to bed, and she throws a hissy fit about nothing and wants me to drop her off at the gas station. So she got all her crap. I was about to drop her off. And I mean, all the signs of mental illness were showing right there. I just didn't want to believe them. I didn't know what they were. Maybe it's not that I didn't want to believe them. I didn't know what they were. I mean, I knew it was weird, but I didn't know what it was. So that happened. So after a while at the gas station, I didn't really leave for a little while. I gave her a chance to change her mind. I said, come on, dude, because it's LA. I don't know if I could really leave somebody in LA. I mean, you're probably going to disappear. You do something like that. So I waited around for a little while, and she eventually got back in the car. She said she was probably just going to walk back anyways later on. She said that. It started getting very tumultuous after that. But she wanted me to move in to her ex-boyfriend's place with her. She claims that there was nothing going on. I think she just wanted to mess around with two guys or something. I don't know. That's what I think. That's my theory. But I said, okay, I guess I won't move to Texas and I'll stay with you because I'm studying to get a real estate license anyways. And, that was my plan, was to really get a real estate license and start doing real estate. So I didn't really care too much about living with a boyfriend. The rent was going to be cheap, so I could fund, being a real estate agent and not selling anything for a while. And that's kind of what happened. I didn't make a whole lot of money. But anyways, before literally the week I started real estate, no, this was after. Okay. Yeah, no, that about the week I started real estate, like my first day going into the office, she moved to Oregon. That's where you'll see the Oregon vlog. There's a whole series of our adventures. I think it was 2016. She moved to Oregon at one point. And so I didn't move to Oregon. I went on with my life. And that's why I haven't been vlogging. I didn't know where to go from there. But I'll tell you what, I really do regret it. I regret not vlogging, every single, at least week for the last how many years, because I've went from, paradise, when it was still paradise, it burned down, to where I'm at now. And, staying with this, I was living in this room. And to one point, I had a 3-bedroom apartment. Just 5 years ago, I had a 3-bedroom apartment. So I had went from living with Leanne and her boyfriend's house, basically in like a shed. I mean, we slept in a shed. That was pretty much what we slept in, was a shed with power. And went from that to having a 3-bedroom apartment in 2-3 years. And I didn't vlog any of that. I had a 3-bedroom apartment. That got taken away, then that, COVID happened. My roommate happened. She ended up not paying her rent, and, that happened. And so when I moved in here after the 3-bedroom apartment, it was really sad. It was a really sad time, and I wish I would have vlogged it. Sorry, this is a lot of remembering, and this is all like not pretty or nice stuff. It's actually a little bit like dreadful and painful to think of, because it's just getting screwed over. So I lost a 3-bedroom apartment. I let a woman move in. We were actually looking. She found it. She had a boyfriend, but I only wanted to live together if we were going to have like some sort of future together. And she was kind of leading me on that way. And so at one point, I remember she stopped paying rent, and she blamed the job that she was working at for not paying rent. I mean, she's paying all her other bills, so I don't know. But, her job said that they paid her. I don't know. I'm not sure whether she got paid or not. All I know is that this woman moved in with me to, basically manipulate me into giving her like a discounted rent, I guess. I don't know. Because I was living there by myself, and I was perfectly happy by myself. I didn't need her at all, and I didn't necessarily want her either. So there was really no reason for me to bring her in unless, we were gonna like, buy a house together or something. I mean, she was, we got along good, and she asked me if I wanted to move in with her. It's not like I was pursuing her or anything. This woman asked me if I wanted to move in with her, if we wanted to get a place together. I was like, yeah, let's get a house though, And they said, oh, well, no, let's get this apartment. And I said, well, are we going to get a house after we get this apartment? Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, well, fine. But she, that was a lie. That was a lie. So I just been lied to and lied to and lied to and lied to. It's like, sorry, I'm rambling, aren't I? So anyways, to me, this redecoration is more than just a redecoration. Yeah, sure, I'm redecorating a tiny 1-bedroom apartment that's older than dirt. Sure. Okay, but it's more than that. It's more. It's just more than that. Well, it just represents, me being able to come back from yet another lie from another woman, always being kicked down, always the underdog, and me being able to get where I'm at, because I don't even think I'm supposed to be here right now, honestly. I don't think they want me here. I don't think I'm supposed to be here, but here I am, and so I'm gonna make it look nice, even though it's just a 1-bedroom. We're gonna make it look nice. So connecting this back to the gym, I'm still here. I'm not dead yet. And this place has allowed me to regain some of my sanity, given me space to think about everything that has happened over not just the 5 years, but the 10 years, the 20 years, all the way back to when I was like 3 years old and my first memories. It's given me time to process and think about all of that stuff, and not having the space to do any of that. When I wanted to do that when I was like 16, because when you have all this, trauma from your home life and all this stuff going on, and you're not allowed to explore it or process it or anything, it can really be bad for you. So that's why it's more than just decorating, because I'm still here. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not even supposed to be here. I ain't even supposed to be here today. At the same time, I'm still looking around the corner like somebody's gonna show up and take it all away from me. So, and that's just from my past, from, having stuff just constantly being taken away. So, man. So I can't wait to get back into the gym in the next couple of days, because the gym is more than just keeping yourself in shape. It also is good for your mind. And when your body feels better, and when you get out some of that energy that you are holding in because you're not doing anything, you're not working out, you're not doing anything, then I feel like that can have negative effects on you, and it can have negative effects on your life. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into the gym, and obviously this place isn't done yet. So, but we're getting there. Okay.